This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview was recorded live on the exhibit floor at the 2014 NAB show. For all our NAB interviews, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com. One of the cool things about video is great audio. Now, great audio could be an actor that can act and speak English at the same time. It could be wonderful music, but where things get really exciting is in sound effects, because sound effects just take the imagination to whole new worlds, which brings us to Blastwave FX. That's Ric Viers' company. He is the sound designer and founder of Blastwave FX. Ric, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Give us a paragraph description in case I screwed up. What does Blastwave do these days? I haven't tuned in the last couple of months.
Well, we're a high-definition sound effects company.
Oh, wait. High definition.
High definition.
Wrong moose breath. Unless I'm mistaken, our ears have not changed in 10,000 years. What's this high definition business?
10,000 years. High definition is it's twofold. I mean, there's the technical definition, which is 24-bit, 96 kilohertz.
There really is a definition for it.
Well, that's anything 24-bit is certainly considered to be high definition. So there is the technical. When I say technical, I mean there's numbers behind it. But for us, it's not just the sample rate or the bit depth. It's the way that we record and the way that we edit and master our sound effects. Our stuff is, and we pride ourselves on this, it's super clean sound effects.
It's not just a camera mic?
If you want to hear a dog bark, you're going to hear a dog bark, not a dog bark and a car in the background or something else, wind going by. We try to isolate our sounds as much as we possibly can. So when we give you guys stuff, it is perfectly clean to use. Yeah.
That is not easy to do in this world.
No, it is not. I wish I was a photographer, because then I could just set up a blue screen and be done with it. But for me, it's like there's the challenge is twofold. It's number one, finding the sounds themselves. But it's like you can find a great sound, but if it's not in a great place to record, then you're bust. So it's not just finding the sounds, but finding a great location to record those sounds in.
What's a good location?
A studio.
Really?
Well, I mean, if you've got an acoustically treated room, you're going to get nothing but the sound that you're recording. So whenever we can, we bring things in studio. But if we can't, then we just try to find places where there's no room tone, or we can't, we're away from train tracks, or whatever's going on. And sometimes we just got to bite the bullet and just work with mic placement or mic selection and try to get the sound as clean as we can.
Which gets me to the way to get good sound is to use good mics. What mics are you using?
I'm a huge fan of Rode microphones.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been using those guys for, 7 years, or maybe, no, actually probably 9 years now, I think.
Which version? Which model?
My go-to right now is the NTG3, which is their shotgun mic. And
we have an NTG2 behind you picking up room tone.
There you go.
So I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
Why the NTG3, just out of curiosity?
It's a really natural-sounding microphone, and it's just a really clean kind of sound, yeah.
Okay, so we've got the mic, and it goes into a
field recorder. Those we toggle between. We've got the Tascam multi-track recorder. We've got 8 channels, so when we're going out and doing specialty things like explosions or guns, those kind of events are really hard to line up, and they tend to be more expensive. So we'll run 16 microphones, and then just record them all, and then pick our favorite later. Because it's like we don't want to go back and re-blow up that car. So we use those as well as 2-track recorders in the field as well. Yeah.
So Tascam is a brand you go to, is another one?
Yeah, I like Tascam stuff. They've got some good stuff. And I don't mean to poo-poo the brands that I work with, because I love the companies I work with. But to me, it's not about the tools; it's about the technique.
How so?
I think that if you give a talented artist a paintbrush that was made from the finest camel hair or whatever, and then you gave the same artist just a paintbrush that was, cut from my hair, I think his art is still going to be just as spectacular, regardless if it's a $5,000 paintbrush or a $2 paintbrush.
Let's not push the envelope too far.
But the idea is that it's the artist paints the picture, not the paintbrush.
Ric, all you're doing is you're putting a microphone next to a barking dog. I mean, how hard can that be?
Well, it depends if it's a rabid dog and he's hungry. Then it can be very challenging. No, but really it's about getting performance. We've been in front of many animals that they're just not in the mood to talk.
Really?
And that happens more often than not. So that's, the challenge is performance when you're dealing with animals. And then on top of that, you got to make sure that they're not wearing a collar, because they start moving around, then you can hear the jingle, and that gets into the bark. I don't want to hear a dog bark with the jingle. I want just the dog bark. So first thing I would do is take that off. We got to be in a room that's either carpeted or something, because these toes are going to be walking around. I don't want to hear them tapping around on a cement floor or tile. I just want the dog bark. So that's the way I think when I'm in the field. It's like, how can I get only this thing? So it really helps that I've got OCD.
Okay, I want to record an earth mover, a gigantic machine somewhere. How would you do that?
Well, obviously you would find it. With something like that, you're probably going to get a decent location because they're probably going to be in the middle of a construction site. But then the challenge is going to be making sure there's no other earth movers moving at the time, no backup beeps from like tractors nearby, no guys on their lunch break and all that kind of stuff. So you get permission from them to come in before or after hours, before they start firing up the other trucks. And then you record whatever you can and get him to do as much as you can before he's like, all right, I'm out of here, which does happen as well.
So what you got that's new?
Sonopedia 3.0. Just came out on Monday.
What is it?
It's Sonopedia, which is our flagship general sound effects library. And it now has over 40,000 HD sound effects.
40,000?
40,000.
You haven't been getting sleep.
And I had to name every single one of them. I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
Sonopedia, what's it called again?
3.0.
40,000 HD. Great, but I can't find anything in it. I mean, how do I find the file of that earth mover that I need?
I'm glad that you asked. All of our stuff is completely cataloged and embedded with metadata. So I'm not just going to put earth mover in the metadata. I'm going to put, if it was a Caterpillar was the brand, and then I'm going to put, we're in this location. It's doing this. It's going from left to right, or it's, picking something up or putting it down. Or I might even tag it as construction vehicle. So you might not think to say earth mover. You might think to say construction vehicle. Well, I want to have that in the metadata as well.
And how do I read the metadata? How do I read the catalog?
Our metadata is compatible with any search engine. You can use SoundMiner, NetMix, iTunes, Pro Tools.
So I access your website to get the catalog, and then I can pull a clip up from whatever I'm doing. In other words, walk me through the search process.
The library itself is delivered on a hard drive. All the files are there. All the metadata is in there. So from there, you can either access the metadata, access the files with a search engine tool.
Such as
SoundMiner or NetMix or iTunes or Pro Tools or whatever it is that you're using. And then from there, you find the file you're looking for and drag it on the timeline.
And they sound okay?
I'm hoping so, because it was really hard to make them. I gave it my best, Captain.
The Sonopedia sounds really cool, but can it be afforded by people that have normal checkbooks?
Well, the product itself is $4,000. We do have licensing available so that you can actually pay a lower price and then just do and renew it annually. Yeah, and then of course we have, I'm a grassroots guy, so I believe in the little guys, hands down. That's why I wrote the book, Sound Effects Bible. So we do have smaller products.
So I could buy a subset of just dogs barking or just construction vehicles?
Well, not necessarily that specific, but you can get a category. So you can get construction, industry would be the category for that, or animals. You can get an animal collection, and that would have everything from dog barks to sea lions to whatever else,
Rick, where can people go on the web to learn more?
You can find us at www.blastwavefx.com. That's the letter F, the letter X, blastwavefx.com.
It's all one word, Blastwave, BLASTWAVEFX, blastwavefx.com. And Ric Viers is the founder and the chief sound designer for Blastwave. Rick, thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.